Of course, one of the biggest pieces of news that came out from Raw this week was who was going to be going into WWE Hall of Fame. And it is none other than Adam Copeland, aka Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix. I had posted a rather lengthy post. I kept it short and simple, but I had talked about this, gave my real-time reactions to the news earlier in the day as it came about. And, just to kind of recap it a little bit, because I've had a couple of days to marinate on this a little bit more. If you ask me straight up, what do I think about this? I got to be honest with you all. I still feel as I did the other day, which is, let's answer the question, does Beth Phoenix belong in the WWE Hall of Fame? Yes or no? I say yes and no. Now, before I dive into it, the one thing that we need to recognize, although there is not a physical WWE Hall of Fame as of yet, it is still a Hall of Fame in itself, and this is always, this time of year, supposed to be a joyous occasion for wrestling fans all around the world. All that, this is supposed to be that one moment out of the weekend where we all can come together for a joyous occasion and basically recognizing somebody's body of work. So we should never get away from what the Hall of Fame for the WWE is all about. It is all about recognizing someone's work. I know that there are a lot of people that are very divided about this right now. Yes, she does deserve to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. And what makes her story such a very interesting one is when you go back and you do your respective research on Beth Phoenix, you'll find that in the late 90s, she had began her training to be a pro wrestler, and she didn't go out on the independent circuits until the early 2000s. And she did some work with the Shimmer promotion. She also had respectively did some work with the, if I'm not mistaken, the Glow promotion. So, she also did some work with OVW. No, Glory is the promotion I was thinking. Forgive me, guys. She did some work with Glory, Shimmer, OVW. And then after that, she came on up the main roster. One of her first feuds was taking on Mickie James. The great rivalry that they had going on. She also had feuded with Trish Stratus. She feuded with Melina. 3-time women's champion, 1-time Divas champion. Was the second woman in Royal Rumble history to enter the Rumble and fight a man. Actually had eliminated the Great Khali, even though she didn't really do physical strength to get him out of the ring. From what I remember, she basically kissed him and it sent him kind of like flying out the ring that way. So a decent, respectable body of work. But in my mind, she is still nothing more. And this isn't a knock. This isn't a diss. I'm just calling it how I see it. And it doesn't mean that what I say is the be-all, end-all. But she comes off to me when I look at her gimmick as a packaged, modified version of Chyna meets the late Luna Vachon. And so for me, it's just kind of like, and I can't really help but think even more long and hard about the women that are not in the WWE Hall of Fame that are so deserving of going in before Beth Phoenix. And I'm not going to beat this horse to death. I know probably my colleagues have beaten this horse to death. I don't know. I would imagine they did. I can tell you this much. There were so many people that, and it was very interesting because on the one hand, the people that were saying, oh, Beth Phoenix, so happy for you, so glad that you're going into the Hall of Fame. I noticed that a lot of the people that were saying they were happy for her, they were rather young. And when I say they were rather young, I saw definitely a lot of teenagers. I saw people that looked as though they were probably 20, maybe 21. So I'm kind of going, oh, so you were definitely in your teens when Beth Phoenix had first made her debut. Okay, Interesting. Or it might have been a case where you had somebody that was like maybe 8, 9, 10 that could remember Beth Phoenix, and now they're getting ready to graduate high school or whatever, and they're like, oh, congratulations, blah blah blah. So I noticed a lot of young people were like, oh, Beth, congratulations. But like the people that were being outspoken about, hey, all due respect, Beth Phoenix, yeah, decent body of work, but way too soon. It came off like it was people that were in their mid-20s and up. Mid-20s and up. And I just want to share with you some of the interactions that people were posting about what was going down with Beth going in here. Because, I mean, a lot of the people, they had some really good things to say. Like take, for example, Billy Davis. Beth Phoenix inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame before Chyna and so many other deserving past women wrestlers is wrong. Or take typical Sterlo. In all seriousness, how is Beth Phoenix a WWE Hall of Famer? This is such a joke to me. Brian Ghoulish, I can't take the WWE Hall of Fame serious. Beth Phoenix gets in, but Owen Hart still isn't. Jobber Nation TV, Chyna should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, not Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix, hashtag not my Hall of Fame. I'll read a couple of more to you guys. Positive K, Beth Phoenix getting into the Hall of Fame before Chyna is fucking bullshit. You guys seeing a theme here? At Stephanie McMahon, Chyna, stop hating, get over it, Stephanie. She is dead. She deserves a spot before Beth Phoenix. You are still acting like a side chick. That came from Sarah. Sparkle Crotch, Viva la Amanda. Way too early for her. Beth Phoenix had an amazing career, but other women deserved it first. Chyna, Molly Holly, Victoria, Luna Vachon. Two more for you guys. Daniel Jensen. Beth Phoenix is the Terrell Davis of this year's class. Had a great 3-year run, and that's about it. And one more. Dean Morton. D-Man 6195. Beth Phoenix seems rather soon. Deserved, yes, but it could wait another 10 years. How is it in this day and age? You know how we had Princess Diana? Well, the WWE had Miss Elizabeth. She brought grace. She brought class. She was flashy. The dresses that she wore down to the ring when she was accompanying the Macho Man, Randy Savage, the dresses were just so breathtaking. You were captivated. You were in awe. If you were a boy, you were like, wow, she's pretty. And as you started to find yourself going into puberty, you were finding that Miss Elizabeth was kind of bringing certain sensations in your body you didn't know exist before. If you were a girl, you were like, wow, she is so pretty. She was like as pretty as your Barbie dolls. You wanted to be like her when you grew up. She had touched so many people's hearts for a woman that was so quiet, but like when she opened her mouth, we as wrestling fans, we watched, we listened. We clung on to every single thing that she said from the moment that she came out. We all can be in agreement. Was not quite the same once she popped up in WCW and she was with Woman and, doing the whole Kevin Sullivan thing and all that just, and then with Ric Flair and all that, that just wasn't quite, it wasn't the same. But she's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. We don't even need to go into Chyna. I think I've spoken about that many times on the show in the past. Sable. She was the female face of the Attitude Era, and I mean, her and Sunny alone, they pretty much had ushered in the Diva Era. If you really stop and you think about it, they pretty much laid down the foundation for Oh, so this is the direction we need to go with women. It ain't about fucking wrestling. It's just about putting them in bra and panties matches and all that. Yeah, just hot bodies. That's what it needs to be all about. So although Sable may have been the face of the Attitude Era, she also had her share, just as Sunny, in ushering in the Divas era. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Sunny is in the Hall of Fame, but Sable is not in the Hall of Fame, correct? I just want to keep it to women for right now. Let's just really home it down. Let's keep it to women. So, Sable, unless I missed it, I missed the memo, Sable is not in the Hall of Fame. Bull Nakano. You don't know about Bull Nakano, you need to go brush up on your history. How in the hell is Vickie Guerrero not even in a Hall of Fame? Let me tell you something. In my Hall of Fame, I would take Vickie Guerrero over Beth Phoenix any day of the week. I mean, just really stop and think for a moment. When her husband, God rest his soul, Eddie Guerrero, had passed away, that was the financial provider. That was the breadwinner of the family. Vickie had dreams, aspirations that she wanted to do, but she decided, you know what? Eddie really loves this wrestling. He wants to see it through. He's having a really bright career with this. It's providing a really good life for our family. Okay, I'll stay home. No problem. I'll stay home. I'll take care of the kids. He's on the road. Okay, no problem. No problem. So her dreams, her aspirations, her life that she wanted to try to carve out career-wise, she put it on hold in support of her significant other. That's what couples do. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, even if it's like the unpopular one, right? So Eddie dies. And WWE's like, man, look, we really feel Eddie was our family. What do you say? We like to offer you a job. So she takes a SmackDown general manager role and just somehow is able to take that. Just something mediocre. And she becomes one of the most hated, all-time, heated, on-screen characters in WWE history. I mean, seriously. Stop and think about that for a second. So, I'm sorry, but in my Hall of Fame, I don't even have to think twice. Vickie Guerrero would definitely go in before Beth Phoenix. All the women that I just named so far would go in before Beth Phoenix. Do I really need to say anything about Luna, daughter of Mad Dog? Do I really need to say anything about her? I mean, she was small, kind of compact, strong as hell, good as grappler, and she was the true definition of being a anti-diva. We got Nia Jax. I'm not like most girls. We got all that bullshit running around. No, let me tell you something. Luna was the true anti-diva. And for all of her hard work and dedication and time and effort that she had put into the sport of pro wrestling, her story is the most sad, because all that she was putting out, she wasn't getting back in return. And to this day, it's just a travesty, when you just think about the circumstances leading up to her death and, just how she went out. And we've seen other wrestling promotions try to honor her. And it just sucks that after all these years, WWE still has not put Luna in the fucking Hall of Fame. But Beth Phoenix goes over Luna? The fuck is up with that? Seriously. Missy Hyatt. Last I checked, Missy Hyatt is not in the Hall of Fame. Akira Hokuto is not in the Hall of Fame. I'd be here all night going over the females that like. Now let me tell you something. If I'm Beth Phoenix, if I could give any solid piece of advice to Beth Phoenix, because I'm sure she has been hearing it left and right. Beth Phoenix, if she really wants to set the right type of an example for her children, future children, she has a very, very heavy burden that she needs to get off her chest when she gets ready to do this acceptance speech. If I'm Beth Phoenix, yes, go ahead. Accept this. Accept this gracious honor, because it is a privilege, and it definitely is a true honor, because now you are joining the elite. But at the same time, take advantage of the controversy that is now spread throughout social media, throughout the wrestling forums, and listen to the overwhelming wrestling community. Recognize the fact that there were other women that had paved the way to present to you the opportunity that you were able to have for the short tenure that you were with the WWE. And at that same time, during that acceptance speech, use it as an opportunity to put over the other women that helped you along the way, that inspired you to want to get into the sport of pro wrestling. The women that you had the opportunity to work with night in and night out. But most importantly, get the conversation talking with WWE personnel. Get them talking about who they need to look into for next year's Hall of Fame for their women's division, right? The women that need to go into the Hall of Fame next year. Bring up the Lunas. Bring up the Chynas. Bring up the Miss Elizabeths. Bring up the Bull Nakano. Bring up the Missy Hyatts. All these women are definitely deserving of going into the Hall of Fame. So you know what? If all of them cannot go into the Hall of Fame next year, I would love to see a start somewhere with these women that I just named. And the top three that are screaming at me right now is Miss Elizabeth, Chyna, and Luna. Out of those three, I gotta at least see one of them a fucking lock for next year. So that would be my advice to Beth Phoenix. Use that speech as an opportunity, and I wouldn't even let WWE know about the speech, because we know how scripted those things are, and they try to figure out what they're going to say. You can give them a shit little smoke screen speech, but go off the cuff once you're on that stage and you're live on the air. That's how I would pitch it. That is seriously how I would pitch it. So I cannot wait to see this acceptance speech that Beth Phoenix, I tell you what, if she goes that route, and she mentions, hey, I'm honored, but I gotta acknowledge these women first, and hey, while I'm thinking about it, while I'm talking about it, while we're here, how about next year? If she goes to all those points, she will have earned like mad props from me. I mean, I've always been a fan of her, but truly when it comes to defining moments in a person's life, that is when you're really able to define their character. So I'm going to be paying very close attention to this speech, because I'm going to be paying very close attention to how her character is going to be defined coming out of it afterwards. So I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen with that speech.